Looking at sets of 4 on the circle brings us back to the diminished chord. Again, it's symmetrical, 2 tritones a minor third apart. All 4 quadrants of the circle are represented in the diminished chord. There are 3 diminished chords possible. In a previous video, we saw that when we combined 2 adjacent augmented triads, we found major 7 chords. When we do the same with 2 adjacent diminished chords, we see minor 7 chords. Unlike the major 7 chord sets, which read clockwise, the minor 7 sets read counterclockwise. If our root note is C for a C minor 7 chord, the 1-5 is C and G, while the 3-7 is E flat and B flat. When we look at the E flat B flat as our 1-5 pair, the 3-7 pair is G flat and D flat for E flat minor 7. G flat minor 7 is the 1-5 pair of G flat D flat with the 3-7 pair of A and E. And finally, A minor 7 is the 1-5 pair of AE with the 3-7 pair of CG. Like the augmented triads, we can shift this pattern to find all of the minor 7 chords, and these 2 patterns also create 2 scales. If we start on the 1-5 pair FC, the pattern is FC, A flat, E flat, B, G flat, D, A. Sorting this out chromatically gives F, G flat, A flat, A, B, C, D, E flat. This is the diminished scale. If we start with the 1-5 pair CG, the complete pattern is CG, E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A and E. Chromatically, it would be C, D flat, E flat, E, G flat, G, A, B flat. This is a scale that's called the dominant 7 flat 9 scale. Here's another thing about the diminished chord. Not only does this tritone divide the octave into 2 equal halves, both on the keyboard and on the circle, but this tritone further divides the 2 halves into 2 equal halves. The C G flat tritone divides the octave in 2, but the G flat is outside the key of C. The tritone in the key of C is FB. Combining these 4 notes, or 2 tritones, divides the circle and the keyboard into 3 sets of 4, these tritones and 4 notes on either side. On the keyboard it doesn't look like much, but on the circle, at least in the key of C, the 4 notes on this side are all white keys, and the 4 notes on this side are all black keys. That's simply a curiosity, but there's more. These 4-note groupings are sus chords, and the 2 tritone notes are the root notes of the chords. This is E flat sus 7, and this is A sus 7. Of course, you can also divide the circle up this way and get 3 sus chords, or all 12 if you shift the pattern. The last pattern of 8 we'll look at is the bebop scale. There are several bebop scales, but 2 common ones add either the natural 7 to a dominant 7 scale, or the sharp 4 to a major scale. If F7 is the dominant 7 scale, adding the natural 7 simply extends the scale grouping 1 note farther. And if the scale is F major 7, extending the grouping adds the sharp 4 to the scale.